Right.
Golf swing on TV the other night. That's what
We will continue our media availability here at Phoenix International Raceway. We now welcome Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 29 Budweiser Chevrolet. Kevin, you had a big foundation event in Bakersfield this weekend where you gave a donation to the local high school. Talk a little bit about that event.
Yeah, we had our yearly event at home, and in the past we've taken care of something at my old high school, and this year we donated 21 sets of golf clubs and golf balls and things to the girls and boys team. So it was a good event. We've done a lot of work with the school, and great to see it headed in the right direction. So always fun to go home and be able to give back to your hometown.
Third in points going into the final two races this season. You won this race last year. Talk a little bit about being at Phoenix and your thoughts going into the final two races.
Yeah, this has been a great racetrack for us in the past, and hopefully we can have another good weekend. Obviously, racetracks changed over the last couple of years, so you have to do things a little bit differently than what you used to. So it's going to be a good weekend. We have the Nationwide car and the Cup car this weekend, so looking forward to getting into practice.
Okay, we'll take questions for Kevin. We'll start right up front with Stan.
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Kevin, does being third on the points actually make it easier that, I mean, you can just get out here and race rather than worry about what anybody else is doing?
It's definitely less stressful. Obviously, we wish we were closer to being in the top two, but we had one bad race at Loudon, and I think we've averaged like right at 7 for the chase as far as finishing position. So we just haven't been where we needed to be in order to keep up with those two guys as far as winning races and finishing a little bit better. So can't complain about the season nor the finishes that we've had in the chase. We knew we needed to win at least one race in the chase, and we accomplished that. And it just happens to be a year where you needed to win a couple, 2 or 3 races in the chase and finish in the top 5 a lot. So it's not been anything to complain about. So we just have to keep doing what we've been doing and try to win one of these or both of the last 2 races.
Take our next question from Tom, then go to Bob and Mark. Go ahead, Tom.
Hi, Kevin. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Wrapping up your career with RCR, only 2 races to go after 12, 13 years with them. What are your feelings? You sad, you relieved, excited, happy?
Richard and I were talking about it last week, just about the things that we've been able to accomplish and do and win and situations that we've been through, and obviously we had the incident at Martinsville, but it's definitely not the hardest situation that we've been through as owner and driver or friends, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely something that we've been both fortunate to have a lot of success and look forward to the next chapter. But we also, as we get to today, for instance, this will be the last nationwide race that we run for RCR, and we've won 30-something nationwide races, a couple drivers championships, I think 4 or 5 owners championships. So it's been very successful. Obviously, it's kind of like being a part of your family. You have some spats and you have some things, but it seems like each instance makes you closer in some kind of way.
Okay, we'll go Bob and Mark.
Bob Pocker, Sporting News. Obviously, when you won here last year, it was the weekend that everything kind of broke, that you were leaving. Did that set any sort of tone that maybe has helped you out the last couple of weeks, that despite the drama and despite who may be angry at who, that it still doesn't matter when the green flag drops?
Well, I think, obviously last year everything did come out, and I think a lot of the emotion was pretty calm, for the most part. I think as we've gone through the year, the performance has been good. We've been able to win, several races as we've gone through the year, and I don't know that anybody really knew what to expect as we went through time and went through week after week to see how it was all going to work. So it's kind of been a week by week thing, and I think everybody's worked through it fairly well.
Okay, we'll take our next question. Go ahead, Mark.
Mark Armijo, the Arizona Republic. Kevin, is this a two-man race, or do you still feel like you've got a realistic shot at this?
You know, I think 40 points is a lot to overcome. You know, you don't. Obviously, you know, we can control how we run, and that's about it. So, having both of those guys have major catastrophes in 2 races is asking for, you know, all but a miracle in my mind. So, it's but you know, we still have a lot to race for, and you know, 2 great tracks for us coming up. So, just control the things that we can control and go from there.
Additional questions for Kevin? Okay, we'll take one right here with Dustin. And Claire.
Dustin Long, Motor Racing Network. Kevin, I know you talk about you know, relationship with Richard is like family. We have our ups and downs. Obviously, next year you go over to Tony's team. You seem to have quite a good relationship there. Will it be a little bit different not to have, I don't want to say friction, but just that kind of relationship you've had with Richard, where you've had the ups and downs in a sense, or?
Well, I think time, you know, will obviously tell that, but you know, I think it is good to have somebody who challenges you. I think that Tony will challenge me in a different way. I think for myself and Richard, it has always kind of been, you know, you push him, he pushes you, and you meet in the middle, and you finally, you know, have something that pushes the whole company forward. So I think that the roles will be defined a little bit more as we start racing next year, and we understand how everything works, and can start building on that. So I think with Tony's passion for the sport and the championships that he's won and the things that he's done on the racetrack, that in itself will push you to respect the things that he's done and talking about. And same thing with Kurt. I mean, he's won a championship and won a lot of races, and so, you know, I think with the whole group, it's going to be a really new group of people from a lot of different areas as you look at the cast of characters going into next year. So it'll definitely take a while for it to kind of build into what it's going to be.
Are you intrigued how that's all going to come?
I'm sorry?
Are you intrigued how that all might come together? Because from the outside, I think there's a lot of questions about this. Just seems like a motley crew that's
Well, you know, I think the bottom line is it's a group of racers, and that's really what we're here to do. And you know, I feel very comfortable with the crew chief choice for my car for sure. With Rodney, he's very calm, but he's also very engineering minded and very competitive and loves to race. So I think that balance will be very similar to, you know, we look at Gil. He's kind of been that guy that can always corral everything and take it in-house and figure out how to fix it and make it better. So you know, I look at Rodney as a very similar person in that respect.
Okay, we'll take our final 2 questions. Go ahead, Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. How poised is your team? What's the momentum and the feeling? You have such a good race team, your car chief, your crew chief. You've been through hell and back with Gil Martin. What's the feeling on the team right now headed into the final 2 races? How good is that team? How poised are they?
Well, I mean, through the years, we've been through a lot of different situations for sure. So, you know, I think that the nucleus of all that is still Gil. And he, you know, this is a whole different group of guys than what we had 3 years ago, and you know, he's made it into another great race team. So you know, I think he's the one that keeps all that stuff together. But everybody's in good spirits. The testing that we did over the last 2 months has kind of wore everybody out, but everybody in the garage is wore out at this point. So it's good that we only have 2 weeks left, and everybody can enjoy some downtime with their families over the holiday season.
Okay, we'll take our final question from Kevin. Go ahead.
John Orovitz with ESPN.com. Obviously, you're going to go fighting to the very end for the championship, but if you take yourself out of the equation, do you think either driver, Jimmy or Matt, or either team has an advantage? Who would you put your money on if you take yourself out of the picture?
Well, if you look at the past, and I'll use Martinsville as the example, you know, going into Martinsville, you look at it and say, Jimmy's absolutely going to annihilate Matt at Martinsville, and Matt goes out, leads the most laps, and has a chance to win the race. So it's just about who hits it the best on a particular weekend, because those guys have run well all year, and I think the part that everybody forgets, or the stats don't really mean anything on especially on Matt's side, especially at Martinsville. Roush has never been very good at Martinsville, and Gibbs has always been fairly good at Martinsville, so it's a crapshoot at this point. About the time you think that Jimmy hadn't won a race on a mile-and-a-half racetrack all year, and goes out and just absolutely crushes everybody at Texas. So it's just a matter of who hits it on a particular weekend, and obviously this racetrack can play a lot of havoc on track position and things happening and get caught up in something. But I think performance-wise, it's a draw at this point.
Kevin, thank you very much for your time this morning. Good luck this weekend. Thank you.